Travis Hare, city engineer. I'm sure most of you have seen me a couple times for this presentation. The rest of you, hopefully I don't bore you to sleep. So just before I start, I wanted to introduce Ronald Rangel. He's our new assistant city engineer. He started in November. I think this is his first council meeting, so I told him I'd take it easy on him. So. All right, 2025 construction season, slated for another big year. Just, want to go over what we did last year, some of the summary, some of the projects from this year, and then kind of give a quick look at what we're looking at down the road. All right, 2024, two of our road reconstructions. We did 17th Street from Walnut to Janes, which I think finished up the 17th Street corridor. We did South Jefferson Avenue in the historical district over there by the Castle Museum. We also did some road rehab on Sheridan Avenue, which included a crush and shape. We took that road down from 4 lanes to 3 lanes and added bike lanes on both sides of that road as well. Then we also, with our CDBG money, thank you, Planning Commission, did 3rd and 10th Streets last year. And we also did North Bond Street with the next fiscal year of CDBG money. We also did Hoyt Park Lower Drive, which I believe was the 101 funds. That was kind of a nice cap on the Hoyt Park improvements, and as you can see, I'm sure they're getting close to finishing their pavilion. We did have one bridge project last year, it was Center Street Bridge. We just had to do some steel beam repairs, so not a whole lot on that one. Before I get into this, I just wanted to bring up quick, I realized a couple years ago we had some newer council members, so I had a couple slides on funding. I didn't put those in here, I apologize, I just want to do it quick. Act 51 revenue is state and federal gas and weight tax. So from gas taxes as well as Michigan license plate registration fees. That's how we get our funding for roads. Total, we're about 8.7 million for a year. Now that's not just for projects, that includes pothole patching, snow plowing, signal maintenance, pretty much anything you can think of, tree clearing in the right of way. So of that, about 2 million is for local streets and the rest is for major streets. Just kind of want to give that. We also do get about $1.2 million in federal funding through our planning organization. And those only go towards federal aid eligible roads. So you'll see, I'll point those out when we get further on. And I apologize, I don't have slides for these, so I will be switching here in a minute. And then we also do rely heavily on some CDBG money every year, and thank you again for Planning Commission to recommend that award for this year. All right, because of the low amount of money that we receive, and we try to spread it the farthest we can, we have these project selection factors that we look at, primarily traffic volumes, condition of the road, based on a Paiser rating system 1 to 10. There's kind of just a chart there. It's a really high level view on kind of what the Paiser is and what kind of fixes you should make. As the number gets lower, your cost to fix gets higher. So we try to, hit a lot of those roads in the fair category to keep them from getting to the poor category. So it's looking at traffic generators like the hospital, the schools, try to pick, commercial areas as well to try to benefit the most commercial people and residents as well in the city to try to make our dollar spread as far as possible. This is a pretty ugly chart. This is our Paiser ratings, red being poor, yellow being fair, and green being good. So just kind of a snap back to 2021, about 4 years ago. We are improving slightly on both. It's just the funding's not keeping up with some of the inflationary dollars as well. Cost of construction's going up. Funding isn't really keeping up as much with that. Our goal every year is just to kind of maintain our overall Paiser and not make it worse. So that's all we can do, which is unfortunate. I hate to say that, but that's what we do. All right, here's our list of the road and bridge construction. First one is millinery surface, and actually there's a CC on this today on our agenda as well. This was originally awarded in the fall. Due to contractor being busy, we had to push it to the spring. During the winter, the asset management plan was completed for water and sewer. So we're looking to add water main work on Fayette from Court to Madison. It's 4 blocks, so that's on the CC. That's a majority of the increase that's on that CC. But we did add Harrison as well, a critical link for Covenant, because we had good bid prices. So we wanted to add that money to this PO as well. So besides Harrison, we're going to be doing Fayette, Webster, all those streets bordered by Webster, Madison, Court, and Michigan. So that kind of 3x4 grid area. So we've done some of the ramps already. We're looking to resurface those roads after the water main's been done, assuming approval tonight. But hopefully once that's done, we'll have those done by end of June. As you all know, in 2024, we passed a road millage countywide. The city gets about $1.2 million of funding for that, for local streets every year. We started getting some of the deposits in this spring, and so in the new fiscal year after July, we're going to start implementing some of that money. The first area we're looking at right now is between Court and Mackinac and Webster and Mason. I think the estimate right now, it says 1.2, we're probably at 1.3, 1.4, but we're going to try to use some of our local street funding as well to do that. That's be a good sized project for us. It's about 3.5 lane miles, which means it's almost 2 miles total of actual road being resurfaced. We're looking to start that in July and have that done about Halloween. Concrete road repairs. So this was on here last week, but as of today, if we finalize our budget cuts, unfortunately, we will not be able to do this project. So apologize. Here's our big project. This is probably the largest road projects that the city's done. I mean, I can ask Phil, but it's probably one of the largest ones we've done in the last 20, 25 years. It's a full mile of Wheeler from Michigan to Gratiot, full reconstruction, brand new water main the whole stretch, and also from Ring Street to the south, we're doing a mainline sewer, which is the first time we've done one of those since I think 2017, 18. So it's kind of a unique project. And also with this one, we're replacing the railroad crossing. That's about halfway through that section as well. On this one, we're utilizing 1.44 million of federal funding, and then the rest, as you can see, road funding, water, sewer to make up the match. We are starting, it says March 31st, but they're not starting until next week. But we're looking at a completion probably around the end of October. Hess Avenue reconstruction. This is also using federal money. This is the last fiscal year that we received extra money for a couple of years. So we've got a lot of federal jobs this summer. This is a reconstruction from Jefferson to Sheridan, half a mile. We are going to be converting this from 3 lanes to 2 lanes, and hopefully converting from 1-way to 2-way as well. That'll be coming probably at the next 1 or 2 council meetings for approval on that. We're hoping to get that, and that conversion would happen from Williamson to Sheridan. With this project, we also will be putting bike lanes all the way from Williamson to Sheridan to connect with the bike lanes we just put on Sheridan. So our goal is to try to get, eventually get them to Center Street Bridge so that we can kind of connect with the trail and the Iron Bell that crosses there as well. Next one is Adams and Cass Street. This is the one we've kind of all been waiting for 4 years. We're putting back Cass as a brick road, brand new brick. We got a TAP grant for this in the amount of about $825,000. This is a project we've kind of excited for. We'll have an archaeologist on site because there's maybe some sensitive areas there. We're hoping we don't find anything, but if we do, I want it to be a mastodon. They found one on the west side of the state maybe 2 years ago, and that was pretty cool. So. We have, and I'm sure everyone has seen, there's a lot of work going on around Ezra Rust and Court Street. We do have the Court Street Bridge closed. I have a completion of June 20th. We're hoping to have that open sooner than that. They started early and they're hitting that very hard with the good weather we had for a while. Got a lot of deck and sidewalk patches there. Railing repairs, we're replacing all the handholds for the street lighting. That project is funded 95% by state and federal bridge funds, which is a program that we utilize every year. It's the best bang for your buck you're ever going to see for grants. Next one is Lee Street and boat launch rehab. Lee Street goes from Niagara down to the Rust Avenue boat launch. This project is going to be utilizing ARPA funds. We were able to add some of these extra projects with ARPA from the Ojibwe Island savings. We saved probably about $2.5 million from the bids on the Ojibwe Island stabilization project. And so for the park purposes, we're utilizing here. So we're excited. This road's a local. We don't have a lot of funding for it. And the boat launch is in need of some serious repair. So we're hoping to start that in the fall, probably complete it in the spring of 2026. This is just kind of a snapshot here. Do this every year just to kind of show, right now we have a 65% match, let's call it, on our grant funding. So 35% includes the federal, CDBG, any bridge funds we have. Last year was 50-50. It was a good year. So we try to stretch the dollar as much as possible. Some other kind of non-road projects per se. As everyone knows, we're replacing lead lines in the city as fast as possible. I think they all have to be done in the next 10 years. Our guys can't keep up, so we're continuing to bid out water and sewer patch projects, I think which was awarded maybe 2 meetings ago was the next round. So this is probably going to be a yearly project for a long time until we get caught up. But just want to throw that on there. We are also we got a grant from CMF Spark program for the Riverfront Iron Belt Trail rehab. This is the section goes from Wicks up to Ojibwe Island. We did the Wicks Park piece 3 years ago, I believe, was completed. And so this is a zero match grant, excuse me. We do have some extra costs in here. We added some extra work, so we'll be matching some of that. But that'll include rehab of that trail and also adding a trailhead here on the south end. This picture here is actually that kind of gravel loop that's just off of Fordney at Wicks Park. And so we're going to be paving that loop as well, so it's not underwater every time we get a rain event. Mm-hmm. And then also putting about probably 7 or 8 parking spots there for bikers. Ojibwe Island and Crayola Park, bank stabilization. I'm sure everyone's seen a lot about this project. It is finally underway after we got our Eagle and U.S. Army Corps permits. They started this week, I think, actually. So we're looking at, I say completion 2025. We're expecting to be before then. And we're all aware that, fireworks get shot off of Ojibwe Island, so we're going to be coordinating that. If we're not done, we'll be coordinating to make sure that happens still. But that's 100% ARPA funds. And then the next one, allowed with the good bid prices we got, we were able to try to add the drive rehab as well. So we'd have the brand new bank on the west side of the island, and we have probably 7,500 tons of stone coming in for that bank, and we knew that this road would be gravel by the time all those trucks were done. So this is a good time to wait till the project's done, come back in, crush all the roads, put new pavement down, and that includes all the parking lots as well. So, and I don't have a slide for this, but we're also doing stage improvements. That's our facilities group. So hopefully when we're done this summer, and maybe in the spring, Ojibwe Island will be pretty new, and hopefully trying to get some events back. Also to cap off White Park, we have just a quick and dirty, cheap mill and fill on the surface on the upper road. That's the section by the warming house there. That's just off of M13. So we're going to go in there, and that's utilizing some of that extra ARPA money for the parks as well. One that we're excited about, thank you for giving us funding for this one. We had 3 buildings, 3 sheds that were probably about 50 or 60 years old that we've been band-aiding together. So we were able to get some funding to build a new pole barn out at traffic maintenance. We have 2 brand new trucks within the last 3 years that are sitting outside. And so we're building this not only for those, but also to store sign material, posts, street lighting, you name it. This is going to be really nice. Get a lot of our stuff that sits outside to actually be somewhere inside. And then, don't yell at me, these aren't my projects, but I threw these in here for Mike and Ken. Well, actually, they did them for me. I'm just kind of talking on them. But big one, I'm sure everyone's seen now, the tower is up. It's as high as the pedestal is going to go. Now I think they're working on building out the tank itself. So we're still looking at, I believe, Christmas completion of 2025. Towards the end of the year, a large majority of the budget is a DWSRF grant, I believe, that the state provided. So that's a huge project. Will be great for reliability of our system once it's complete. And Kind of a side project for that same reason, we have the water treatment connections. This is why Ezra Rust is closed. There's about $8 million worth of piping work out front of the water plant to accommodate the water tower once it's up and running. So these projects are kind of on the same schedule, so that we're hoping that these will both be done around the same time and we can bring up the water tower into service. Another one that we have about half ARPA, half sewer funds is the Hancock CSO basin, as well as the parking structure that's there at Hamilton and Court. If you haven't been out there lately, there is no top deck on it right now. All you can see is beams. It's kind of, it's weird and cool at the same time to see that. There's a lot of work going into that. We have another probably 6 months or so before that project will be complete. But the deck will be brand new, and it'll be in good shape. It'll last another 35, 40 years or more with maintenance. And then that CSO basin will be secure after this project's done as well. I'm not going to read these off, but if you have any questions with them, here's kind of our, we've got a few of our annual projects. I listed some of the medical diamond infrastructure that'll be coming up in the next year, and then some of our federal jobs as well. I'll be back next year to probably go over the first, 11 or so on this list. And this slide is just another continuation. And then here's some of the future and proposed work for water and wastewater as well.